Hey runners, my name's Bruce Chung. I'm here with Stian. We're here at Yoga for Runners HQ. Today's practice is something that we call Yin Yoga. And as a flexibility program, I think it's very important for us to explore Yin, which is a more passive practice. So the postures we'll be coming to today are very few. I'd say we'll probably end up only doing maybe 3 or 4 postures maximum, and each pose will be held for about 2 to 3 minutes at a time. I'll explain more as we move along, but the key is to just allow the body to be heavy and relaxed, so no activation of the muscle, very little effort, and more focus on your breathing. So from here, Stian, we're going to turn to face the front of our mat, everyone, and sit down with the feet in front of you. And bring the soles of your feet together like you're going to do a bound angle pose. But instead of having the heels too close towards the groins, I want you to move the heels a little bit more forward. Okay, everyone move the heels a little bit more forward. You might also notice that I've got a few props here. I've got 2 blocks, a towel, a strap, and a mat that's rolled up. So just nice to have these cushions or pillows nearby as well. Now walk your hands a little bit more forward. Okay? Turn the backs of the hands to rest on the floor. And then simply begin lowering your head down. Good. Relax the neck. So this practice is going to challenge you in many ways. For one, you will experience stronger sensations within the body. And because we are having to hold them, you're looking to build your, let's say, tolerance to them. Like you're building your pain threshold. But at the same time, because we are still for several moments at a time, for several minutes at a time, you'll be required to be completely still, which for a lot of us will be challenging, right? A lot of us are used to being in a more active motion. So what you can do to keep the focus is watch your breath in and watch the breath out. We've been here for about a minute. I would like for us to hold for about, let's say 1 minute more, as this is maybe the first pose, and maybe for some of you the first time you're doing Yin. So nothing too extreme as yet, but what I would like for you to do is focus on the thighs growing heavier. Focus on the spine and head growing heavier, especially as you exhale, especially as you breathe out. The more you're able to find release and surrender, the more your body is able to receive more space, more flexibility. In this case, it's down the groins and inner thighs, and even into our lower back. Let's say 2 breaths more. Now start bringing your hands towards the front of your shins as a way to begin lifting the chest up. You guys can hold on to the ankles, and here bring the heels a little bit closer towards you. Hold on to the ankles or hands behind your back, entirely up to you here guys, but I want you to actively lift the spine. Lift the chest up. And at the same time, we've been closing our chest, so we're going to open up across the shoulders, draw the shoulder blades back into space. Good. Cross any ankle in front of the other. Bring the hands in front of you and step to downward facing dog pose. Take a moment here and really feel the legs. Everyone take the thighs and push them away from the chin. Look at your hands, and with your right foot, step to the right of your baby finger. Step outside of your right hand. Okay, we're going to slowly lower our back knee down onto the floor. At the same time, see if you can move the knee back just a touch. Okay, if anyone is experiencing a bit of knee discomfort, you have the towel, you have the blanket, you can slide it underneath the knee, and then just hold here on your hands. This is a pose that we've done in previous sessions. It's a pose that we do in an active practice, but what you are working to do here is almost release the energetic actions. So instead of engaging the glute, instead of engaging the core, let the belly be soft. Let the buttocks be soft. Our exhalations are the key into the release. So as you breathe out, think of the whole of your pelvis, the whole of that back thigh lowering towards the floor. We have been here 1 minute. As an option, you guys can lower onto the forearms. Let's say your forearms are unable to touch the floor. Stian, can you grab the blocks and place them in any height that is suitable for your body, any height that meets your body's needs, and see if you can bring the forearms down. Okay? You can bring your hands together. Let the head relax. Now, for you guys at home, if this is very extreme for you, even though your forearms are touching the ground or the blocks, if this is too strong for you that you cannot hold it, I would recommend coming onto the hands because we still have just over 1 minute here. And as much as we want to encourage depth, we want to be able to stay where we are. So in this last minute that we're in this lizard pose, in this lizard lunge, can you close your eyes and really identify where in your body you experience the strongest sensations and think of guiding your breath into these spaces as a way to release. And as challenged as you might be finding yourself here, the physical challenge, challenging you emotionally, challenging you mentally, you're balanced with the breath. Okay, we're almost towards the end. Again, pelvis is heavy, thighs are heavy. Give yourselves one last inhalation. Exhaling completely. For those of you on the forearms, slowly come up onto the hands. If you have the blocks, set them aside. And as a way to release, I want you to simply move your hips back and straighten the front leg. A little bit or a lot, and then let the foot flex. Keeping the back, let's say it can be mostly rounded, allowing the head to drop, allowing the heart to come towards the right thigh. And then bend into your front leg, come to downward dog. And for those of you at home, if you would like, even Stian, if you would like, you can take a child's pose alternatively. Entirely up to you guys. We'll come into the other side in a moment. If you're in child's pose, please come to downward dog. And then we're stepping our left foot outside of our left hand. Lowering down onto the right knee, at the same time sliding it back just a hint. And for this first minute that we're here, we stay on our hands. I want you guys not to be confused with going as deep as you can right away. We know that Stian can come to the forearms. Maybe some of you guys know that you can come to the forearms. But because we are seeking to be here longer, it's important to let there be a slow release. Simply by staying on the hands, we're actually giving the body more space in that short time so that when we eventually come to the forearms in a couple of breaths, we're able to do so. We're able to lower to the forearms and stay for a much longer period. By all means, at this point, come down onto the forearms, use the blocks if that's what you need, and some of you at home will in fact stay on the hands for the rest of the posture. If you choose to keep the eyes open, let them rest on one point. What I really love about this practice is not only how it gives us space within the body, but it really asks us to be still, right? You can feel that this is a quiet practice. It really brings us inside. So we have about 1 minute more. When we come to deep stretching, although we are working to be passive, sometimes there's a little bit of a contraction. There might be a contraction in the buttock. There might be a contraction in the thigh. It's like the body is responding to that intensity. The muscle contracts as a way to almost pull us out of that intensity. Use your breathing as a way to communicate with your muscles that it is okay to relax, that it's safe to relax. Half a minute longer here, which translates to maybe 3 to 5 breaths. Every exhalation allowing you to come a little bit deeper, allowing you to sink a little bit closer towards the floor. Allow this next exhalation to be as long and slow as possible. At the end of it, come up onto your hands. Take the blocks aside if they were there. And then begin moving the pelvis back as a way to straighten your left leg, flex the foot. If you can't reach the floor, some of you guys at home use your hands on blocks. If you don't have access to them, you can keep a soft bend in the left leg most definitely. And everyone begin bending your left leg. Hands flat on the floor. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Everyone work to hold this downward dog. It's the last one of the practice. Lower onto the knees. Cross your legs and bring your feet forward. Bring your feet in front of you. And end up lying down on your back. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together exactly as we did at the start of the practice, only this time we're lying down. You can decide how close you want the heels towards you. The closer your heels are towards the groins, the more tense the inner groins and thighs are. And then the more you move the heels away from the groins, there's more space. Find a balance between the two. If you find this too extreme, you have the two blocks. Hopefully, you can slide them underneath the outer thighs or the glutes. If you want to almost add weight, you can let the hands rest on the inner thighs. And if your hands do come to the inner thighs, not forcing them down, just letting them rest. So the weight of the hands just gradually helping to release those outer thighs towards the floor. Remember that this is a practice that is passive. Passive meaning very little effort. The effort, in fact, is just on your breath. There's mental effort, the mental focus that is required for you to be here. So we will end the practice here. But as you're already prime for this posture, I want you guys to actually stay here for as long as you can. Let me take that back. Not as long as you can, because some of you might end up here for 7 minutes or so, but maybe another minute or two. Eventually, when you do come out, allow the thighs to come in very slowly and gradually, and then rest for another few moments with the legs straight. I hope you've enjoyed this yin practice. Thanks for joining myself and Stian. Enjoy the rest of your day, whatever it is that you're up to. Namaste.